Hello, everyone. This here is The Will of the Many by James Islington, the hierarchy book number one. I thought this was a new book on the stands this year. It was actually published originally in 2023 and then republished with some extra material. There is a sequel to this book coming out later this year, and yes, I will get that sequel. At first, so in getting the book, it was reading the description. I thought this was going to be almost more assassin-like James Bond type of situation, and it is not. As I read along, I started to think I may have been suckered into a YA novel. The lead guy is 17 years old and he's going to school. And there is this thing that crops up where you have this type of magic tech, a labyrinth that must be conquered. It's part of the school. And you get this little bracer and you control how it goes up and down, and you're guiding your guy to get through there before the others get to him and tag him and all this other stuff. And it seemed so convoluted for magic stuff. It was just a little bit messy. But it does have a purpose in here, and I actually wound up really enjoying this book. This is a chunker at 600, almost 700 pages, and I was not bored with a single page of this book. This is well-written material. Nothing amazing about its prose. It's just really good, and all the actual scenes are structured in just interesting ways, and I enjoyed this story very much. So Viz here, that's the name of the name he came up with himself as he is in hiding. He was part of a kingdom, and this kingdom gets conquered. His family murdered, and he goes into hiding. And he goes in hiding in the hierarchy. He actually is able to pawn himself off as a part of an orphanage. So what happens in the hierarchy? I could describe this as Harry Potter in ancient Rome, because we're going to a school, and a lot of Roman sounding stuff in this, and especially so with the rankings and class levels and differences. So this senator comes along and decides, you're going to be the one, I'm going to adopt you. If they find out he is the prince from a conquered kingdom, at least he feels in part someone will try to kill him. We do not get the full background to the kingdom he was in, and why necessarily someone's going to say, we're going to murder you along with, because we got your family before, we're going to get you now. So it doesn't quite get deeply into his history. Interesting enough, there is a prologue to this at the end of the book, which I guess comes with the extra material, and he said it was the first stuff that he wrote about the character Viz. And so I'm glad I didn't get that at first, so that way we get a little more mystery as to his background, as he himself sort of hints at it to the people around him. He's got to keep up this falsehood that he has practiced and try to keep his story straight. People do start to suspect, because Viz is really good at everything. He's almost like a Bruce Wayne child or something. He's this Batman kid. At the orphanage, he is used as entertainment in fights, and he gets really good at it. He can handle himself. The magic system, the will of the many. So in the real world, someone's persuasive enough, you like what they say, and it's a politician, you vote for them. They have the power of the people in their pocket. In here, there's a little extra added on to it. It's magic. It's called seeding. You seed a part of yourself voluntarily, and they get power. Literally, the senator who adopts Viz, he is tough. The eyes, he's using the will. The eyes go black. He's impervious to harm. He's a lot stronger and faster. There's other seemingly magic things that come up, but it doesn't go into full-blown wizard sorcery superpowers. At least not yet. Though there are hints, I should say. So the reason he's adopting, what they do is they send children to an academy, And in this academy, you are going to basically learn to become one of the ruling class. You will, however, have a station in life depending on where you wind up in this school. But there's something extra, as this senator had a brother, and his brother went to this academy and wound up losing his life. And so he is sending Biz in there to not only try to find out what happened to his brother, but there's a lot of politicking in this. And what's nice is I didn't really get lost in any of it. It wasn't so complex that I kept missing things and wondering what the hell somebody's talking about. So you've got government, you've got military, and you've got religion. Those are the three branches of government here. And they are all at each other's necks. One wants to dominate the other and get the most power. Everybody's trying to get power from each other. There's this whole other group that doesn't like the hierarchy at all, is trying to bring them down. And they are trying to also use this to their own ends, and they have some leverage over him that he doesn't like, i.e. they know who he is. And so this is sent there. Oh, and I bring all that up because basically the school is run by the religion branch. And there's an idea in here that maybe there's some powerful weapon hidden in some ruins that they could use to, again, make themselves more powerful over the other branches. I don't know that each branch totally wants to destroy the other two, or just, keep them but have more power over them. That seems to be the case. Once you go into this, things start to get set up in, I almost want to say vaguely cliche, because you, for example, meet the head of the school, and he's being pointed out by the senator as the villain we got to deal with. But is he? And he's a very charming fellow, and he keeps, I didn't kill this guy's brother, and so I know why you're here. The senator know why Viz is going there. Viz knows why he is there. The school head knows why he's there. And eventually we know what's going on here with each other, but they don't talk about it so openly. But you don't know who's been up to what, who killed who. It's complex enough to keep you guessing, but not enough that it's predictable. And I really like that piece of it. He does... he wants to keep people at a distance. The thing about Viz is that even though his family was murdered by this hierarchy that he's living in now, and now he is being forced to go to a school that's going to turn him into one part of the ruling class, he wants nothing to do with any of it. He doesn't even want necessarily revenge. He's given up. He can't defeat this by himself. And so he has basically gone on into this to say, well, it gives me time to plan and might put me in a position where I can go live somewhere peacefully and just be away from all this. Even though he has been involved in these fights at the orphanage and everything, he actually doesn't want to see people hurt. He doesn't want to see people killed. It's also needless. And but at the same time, as peace-loving as he is, there's this little demon in him. If properly triggered, he will hurt you. He does have it really takes a lot. It takes specific triggers, but he will go off and he will hurt you, and he's not merciful about these things, short of killing you. And there's scenes in here where he does his thing, and then everybody else is like, oh, we don't want to mess with that if we don't have to. I mean, he shocks people and scares them. But he does make friends. He goes to school and he makes friends, and that's what he likes. It's like he enjoys the life of making friends. But even the friends, they understand what's going on. And so I'll read just a little bit, because this is, again, an explanation of real life and people who seek power and what's going on in this book from page 302 and a little bit from 305. A fair system only works if there's an unbiased means of assessing merit. When there is no pride or selfishness involved, he gives a soft snort, shaking his head, which means that a fair system cannot exist where people are involved. And then right over here, but if you want to succeed here, Biz, you need to see things as they are. You can't expect to be promoted just because you should be. The Republic rewards people who take, not who deserve. So even though you might be the most skilled or the smartest, it's the people who outsmart you via their greed who rule things. And this is what is happening to Viz. It's the senator who adopted him. It's the teacher there at the school. It's the students in the class. The school itself is set up to be cutthroat so that you understand what you're getting into when you go into the ruling body. The power that the senator who adopted him, yeah, he has no problem with punishing Viz if he doesn't succeed in his mission about finding the brother and this potential weapon. It is a device called a sapper, and you are laid down upon this thing, and it just draws out the magic. It draws out your will. It draws out your life force. It is a torturous, like worse than death form of torture. And so this is what's waiting for him if he fails. Not death, torture in the worst possible way. And so Viz being Viz, he is, like I said, he's good at everything, but he needs to learn his lessons, and he starts to. His character arc through this is a tremendous one. And like I said, not a boring page in this chunker. This is a near 700-page, well-written book by James Islington, and I'm in this all the way. So that's the start of a series. Up next, I know there are Murderbot fans out there. I was too. I started reading the Murderbot novels, but I think one, two, three. It looks like I got 3 of them, and I think there was a 4th, but I being a mood reader, I wasn't in the mood at the time, and I didn't get it, so I fell out of it. But I know there's supposed to be a streaming series coming out of that, though, so I'm going to wait for that. For now, that author, though, Martha Wells, has a new book out, Witch King. Let's see. I didn't know you were a demon. You idiot. I'm the demon. After being murdered, his consciousness dormant, and unaware of the passing of time while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai wakes to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. That was never going to go well. But why was Kai in prison in the first place? What has changed in the world since his assassination? And why does the Rising World Coalition appear to be growing in influence? Who is that? Kai will need to pull his allies close and draw on all his pain magic if he is to answer even the least of these questions. He's not going to like the answers. Yeah, having read Murderbot, she's actually a very good writer, and that just sounds good, so I bought that as soon as I saw it on stands. That's it. So this one next week, I can't recommend this enough. When people, I can think of a couple people online who found out I was reading this, and they're like, "Oh, you need to jump on that if you haven't." And, I did, and that's good reading right there. I'm not exactly the biggest academia fan in that kind of fiction, but I've read like Sholomance series, loved it. Read this, loved it. I have not read Harry Potter, but I love the movie, so I guess I'm kind of I think it's called dark academia, because you go to school and you can die there. But up next week, The Witch King, Martha Wells. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye-bye.